कभी मेरे दिल ਨੂੰ ख्याल आता है कभी कभी मेरे दिल ਨੂੰ ख्याल आता है
On the Impact Lounge.
Yo, right now you listening to the Cart, charisma, athleticism, and raw talent. And what you're really listening to is Total Nonstop Impact. Don't you dare miss a listen. Oh, yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to Total Nonstop Impact, Impact Talk for Impact fans, brought to you by the Impact Lounge. And thank you to Chacha Gama for that beautiful intro. Kyle, did you hear that beautiful intro that Chacha Gama just gave us?
Oh, Gama Singh, the voice of an angel, my friend.
Oh, now that song, and I found out, did a little research. Now, I heard that song in the episode, and I got a little, hit me right away. I mean, I understood the words, and if I want to translate the words for the listeners, it's basically saying, sometimes thoughts of you are in my heart. I think of you in my heart. That's basically what he's saying. So I played it for my parents yesterday, and my mom goes, "That's a real famous song. That's a real classic. That's on the lines, it's like a classic love song in the South Asian region." Basically, what Gama's doing is singing, a love song casually, which is what a lot of South Asian men do. It's a very romantic culture, Kyle. Bollywood is a very romantic culture. A lot of men just randomly singing to women. That's what that was. But anyway, welcome back, everybody. I am Trent, and this is Kyle, as we just noted a second ago. We're back with you guys for another week of Impact Wrestling Talk. Kyle, what episode are we doing here today, my friend?
The November 1st episode of Impact Wrestling, November 1st, 2018. We're a couple days late, as usual. It's the type of people we are around here.
I think what we're going for, Kyle, is we're going for that recap crowd, that crowd who can't wait to get on that next episode of Impact, but a day or two or three before they go, you know what? I want to recap last week so I can go in, a little more informed on this week. So that's what we're here to do, guys. We're here to get you guys up to date. So you go into this week's episode, which is going to be 0 hour this coming week. So you'll be ready and prepared with everything.
Final hour, not 0 hour, you moron.
Dummy. Wait, hold on a second. It's not 0 hour? I thought it was final hour.
Final hour.
Well, goddamn.
They told you a million times.
Dummy, yeah.
Final hour, huh?
Dummy, yeah.
Well, I stand corrected, my friend. I don't know, why did I say this? I think 0 hour is the more famous term, right? Is 0 hour? Damn, you're right. It is final hour. Shit.
Final hour.
All right, well, anyway, listen. Let's jump right in here, Kyle. We're going to start off with YouTube comments. Thank a bunch of our listeners who have been really kind to us on our reviews going on, since we've joined the Impact Lounge. So, well, thank you guys for listening. Definitely appreciate all the interaction. You guys have been really good about giving us feedback, letting us know what you like, commenting, engaging in a lot of talk about the episode, what we're talking about. So we appreciate that, guys. Thank you very much for everybody who's engaged us on our reviews here. I want to thank a couple of people here. I want to start off with your boy Whoopsie, your fellow Long Islander Whoopsie. And Whoopsie said to give Deep Dish Pizza a dummy plug because it's casserole.
Dummy, yeah.
I think I'm outnumbered here, Kyle. It's 2-1, man. You guys, you and Whoopsie are teaming up against the Chicago casserole pizza.
Unless any other listeners could jump in the comments here and back you up on Deep Dish Pizza.
Yeah,
I think the New York boys got this one in the bag, baby.
I need some Midwesterners to jump in on these comments, guys, because Whoopsie and Kyle, between the two of them, I'm screwed. I can't even get a plug for Deep Dish Pizza.
Look, Trent, I have no interest in any sort of pizza that I have to eat with silverware. All right, in New York, we pick that sucker up thin as paper, boom, fold it. That's all you need.
Listen, to me, pizza is an experience, and you got your utensils out. You put it in front. You sit down in front of the TV. You sit down around a dinner table. pizza turns into an experience. You don't have to walk and eat it. That is its own entity, my friend, in Chicago. One of these days you're going to experience this. But all right, Whoopsie. You know, hey, listen, I need my Midwesterners to jump in, take down Whoopsie here. All right, Godwin Paul says, great review, guys. Loving the new additions. Thank you, Godwin Paul. We appreciate that. Thanks for making us feel welcome. We had a lot of people answer us on our tag team question, who should take it off of LAX. The J-Rock Freak said he wants to see it on Kross and Moose. Ro the Great came back and said who should is Kross and Moose, but who most likely will would be an outside team. He didn't specify who, so we'll see. Let's see what else we have here. Jamie Weisner said the Dummy of the Week music is cracking him up. He was laughing when he heard it, and when he saw the Gilmore Girls reruns that were taking the 8 to 10 time slot, he thought, Pop, what the hell are you doing? So were we, Jamie. We were thinking the same thing. But glad you like the Dummy of the Week music. Kyle, they're liking your stuff, man. They're liking the Dummy of the Week music. Dummy. Well, Alex replied and said, you guys are my favorite Impact reviewers. I appreciate all the work you guys do. That's awesome. Alex, thank you very much. That's awesome to see, man. I love seeing that.
Thank you, Alex. We owe you a drink.
And we got the Distiller 85 saying, great show again, guys. Impact's done an amazing job building Santana and Ortiz into one of the best tag teams in all of pro wrestling, and perhaps the best. And I can't see anyone on the current roster who should take the titles from them. Distiller, thank you for the compliment on the great show, and we'll see. We appreciate the feedback on the tag team. A lot of people, Kyle, were talking about the tag team question, man. Pierre, I want to say Desalinas said, great review, guys. Where do you think they're heading with Eli Drake? They resigned the dude and then placed at the end of the show. Doesn't make much sense, honestly. Kyle, you want to lend an opinion just real quick for Pierre where you think they're running with Eli Drake?
Well, first you got to apologize for totally butchering his last name, but to answer his question,
you can do better on the last name. You can do better than I can.
I'm admitting that. I'm admitting I would have butchered it too. But just gotta apologize to the guy. That was a clear butchering of the last name. I'm not even gonna attempt it. However, Pierre, our friend and lounger, I'm with you on Eli Drake, and I happen to think that most Impact fans right now are thinking the same thing. Eli Drake, he's one of the most talented people, if not on Impact's roster, but in the entire world of professional wrestling. No matter what they give him, he knocks it out of the park. He's one of the funniest, most entertaining talents going today. However, a lot of people want to see him on top of the card at Impact Wrestling. That's not where he is right now. I don't know. I don't know if he's able to be built back up. I feel like they had everything going for him, and then another regime change affected him in his title run. Austin Aries came in, and they just squashed the plans. So I don't know. I love Eli Drake. I'm a huge fan. I mark out for all of his work. I, like this lounger, am a little confused and concerned with his placement on the card. But you know what, Trent? I love Joseph Park. Joseph Park is one of my favorite characters in Impact history. So seeing him and Eli Drake work together, I'm pretty entertained and satisfied. I'm sorry. I'm going to get a lot of shit for that in the comments. People want Eli Drake as champion, and I do too. However, I'm interested, man. I'm in for this little Impact Wrestling lawsuit led by Eli Drake and Joseph Park.
Listen, I'm keeping an open mind on this. I think I noted the other day online that Joseph Park actually has an unbeaten record. I think he hasn't lost a case. So who knows, man? Joseph Park's got a good record on at Impact. This could be a good thing for old Eli Drake. I mean, he's talking about owning the company. Maybe he'll who knows what's going to happen. So hey, I'm staying positive with it. I think Eli's got a good he's got a good head on his shoulders here to take this all the way to the top, baby. I think Eli's looking out to take this all the way to the top. So We'll see, but yeah. So thanks everybody for all those great comments. We appreciate it. It's really nice of you guys to put that out there for us. So, all right, we're going to jump into the episode here now. The November 1st edition of Impact Wrestling. We kick it off with a kick-ass video package to open the show as per usual, and which is awesome. It gets me in the mood, Kyle. It really hypes me up, man.
And nobody does video packages, vignettes, promos. I don't know what to call them. Whatever they are, the video work, nobody does it better than Impact. And I don't want to sound like a broken record on the show, Trent. I don't want to say the same exact things every single week. I don't think the YouTubers want to hear that. But Trent, we got to call it like it is, man. Impact's video team, Kevin Sully, whoever they got back there pumping these bad boys out. They have the best video production team in all of wrestling. And the Killer Kross stuff is just making that more clear.
The K Sully TV, man, at his production group, I believe they're based out of Nashville. What a great crew, man. I think for a long time, people were like really fixated on what Jeremy Borash would do with, what's that guy's name? Jimmy Hollywood, who I think also jumped ship with him over there to the other side. But, and people were really worried, man, how are the video packages and the vignettes going to be without JB and all that. There was a lot of worry because of all the stuff JB did with the Broken Hardy stuff. But man, I feel like we upgraded tenfold with Kevin Sullivan's team, man. Yeah, I know he was there.
Kevin Sullivan was brought in with Jeff Jarrett. Like when Jeff Jarrett came in last year, 2 years ago, whatever. I don't even keep track of time anymore. Whenever that was, the GFW gate, when everything crashed and just that awful debacle, he brought in Kevin Sullivan, and there was a lot of concern because, okay, Jeff Jarrett came in, he brought his boys. When he got booted, I'm sure a lot of his boys that he got, into certain positions were changed from their positions. So there was concern that this badass video production team, Kevin Sullivan, his crew, by the way, Kevin Sullivan has worked for Impact in the past, in the Spike years. There was a lot of concern that he wasn't going to, stay with the company. He's still with the company. They're still producing this great video content week after week. So whoever this guy is, whoever his team is, they need to keep these people working for Impact Wrestling, man, because they bring so much to the product every single episode.
Yeah, I think what happened was initially they didn't have as much creative freedom as they do now. But with this regime, I think they gave them all the creative freedom that you can ask for, man. So these guys knocked it out of the park. Big ups to K Sullivan and his team, man. But we kick off the show with Rich Swann taking on Willie Mack. I'd mentioned this last week. I didn't really get why this was a match. It's just like they were hanging out and Willie Mack just challenged his buddy. And I didn't really understand there was really no logic to me behind this match. I wish there was, but it was just kind of two happy-go-lucky buddies wanting to have a match for no reason. But a lot of back and forth. Great match. Willie Mack, as I said, he's like my sleeper hit of 2018. A lot of back and forth. The ending sequence basically came when Mack missed the 6-star frog splash and allowing Swann to connect with the handspring cutter. And then Swann hit the Phoenix Splash to pick up the victory. It was perfect. This is one of those matches that nothing went wrong. And Don Callis had a great quote at the end of it. While Swann was getting his hand raised, Don Callis goes, "Well, we're basically starting off with main events nowadays. Who's booking this stuff?" which I'm sure was a pat on his own back. But
why not? Pat yourself on the back, Don. You're doing a tremendous job.
They gave him a lot of time, which I liked. I think they had it seemed like 12 minutes, man. That was a nice little opener. I think they really they gave them time to build it, which it was action-packed, back and forth. Crowd was hot. These guys are perfect show open guys, man. They opened the show up Bound for Glory, as we saw. We were there as a tag team. And, no, they're great. They're great to get people going, man. So any comments on that, Kyle?
Yeah, you said it perfectly there. You can tell that Rich Swann and Willie Mack know each other so well. So much chemistry in the ring. I get what you mean by you were a little confused, like, hey, what's the point? But sometimes in wrestling, Trent, that is the point. That's classic, man. You know that. You've been watching wrestling way longer than me. You've seen way more wrestling than me. You know that. It's once in a while you get two guys. It's like, hey, we got nothing to do tonight. Let's do each other. Oh, come on. Why are you going to hit me with the boing for? I didn't mean gay sex. I'm talking about wrestling. They had nothing to do that night. It's like, hey, I'll do you. We do each other. Handshake. It's friendly competition. That's what it is. Friendly competition.
Just wait till they pull out the hot mops. All right, moving on here. We go from that to the OVE cam, and OVE's on there talking about. They're live in Dayton. They're in Dayton, Ohio, and they're live on location at Rockstar Pro, which is their promotion that they run out there. It's a weekly promotion.
Well, Trent, what do you mean? They run the promotion? OVE runs a wrestling promotion?
OVE runs a wrestling promotion called Rockstar Pro Wrestling. They also run another one called the Wrestling Revolver. They got two. They got two things that they're involved in. Wrestling Revolver is way more Sami than anything, and Rockstar Pro is more the Kross brothers and a couple other partners. Rockstar Pro runs every week. Usually it's Wednesdays. And they run weekly. They do a lot of stuff with a lot of their students and a lot of guys you've seen on Impact now. So it's pretty cool, man. I got one of my buddies. He's a referee for him. He lives out here in Chicago. He travels to Dayton every week. He drives out on Monday morning or Sunday night, and he trains from Monday through Wednesday. And he stays at the Wrestle House, which I think is owned by Dave Christ. And they train him. He does the Rockstar Pro Show, and he's back home Thursday, man, every week. This is my buddy Nate, a.k.a. Steadfast Lee Stevens, referee extraordinaire. And for any AEW fans, he's the guy getting put through tables and getting his ass handed to him by OVE the last couple of shows. So you know him, poor referee who's been getting killed. But yeah, dude, Rockstar's a cool little promotion, man. So we're on location there, and Sami Callihan is basically saying that Brian Cage is booked to show up and bring the X Division title with you. And after that all happens, Don Callis chimes in and says, nobody goes to Ohio by choice, which as a Chicagoan, that's true. So, hey, you ever been to Ohio, Kyle? Ever?
Well, there was that time I had to go pick up a few pounds of crystal. I mean, I've never been to Ohio, never.
Yeah, it's a fine little Midwestern state there, you know, full of crystal. I mean, great, hardworking people.
Like OVE?
Like OVE. They're hardworking guys. No, they're.
That's what was so interesting about this, Trent, is that OVE, Sami Callihan, monster heels, wherever they go, usually they're followed by a ton of boos, ton of thumbs downs, you know, thumbs up, thumbs down, no pun intended. But when you take the camera crew to their territory in Dayton, Ohio, the crowd is entirely packed out with OVE fans. Like, that was so interesting to me to see, because every time I see Sami Callihan and the Kross brothers, they're not in that element. They're always getting booed. They're always getting all the heat. They're some of the best heels in wrestling. But it's very interesting to me to see them in their own habitat, their own OVE environment. I thought it was funny how Don Callis was kind of alluding that all of the people in Ohio are just like OVE. It seemed like that in the crowd. So it's going to be funny, like seeing Brian Cage, traditionally the babyface in this situation on Impact Television, enter OVE's territory, and he's going to get booed. But if they were anywhere else, the roles would be reversed. You know what I mean? I just thought that was a cool little, thing. I love how they do the off-location footage.
I do too.
I like that stuff a lot, man.
I want to know what the fans think about that. They were doing it a lot more earlier this year, where they would cut over to another partner company, indie company, where like one of their guys were performing, and they would splice it into Impact. I liked it a lot. I think it showed like a more of a global feel to Impact. I mean, a couple of times they even jumped to Japan. I thought that was fun. I mean, we all know it's edited in, but I think it kind of, if you're watching it from a show perspective, it's kind of cool. It's kind of like, hey, our guys are traveling. Our champions are all over the place. Check them out here.
Cutting edge presentation when it comes to TV wrestling. Very, very smart experimental stuff. Maybe in the beginning when they first introduced it, they might have overdid it a little every single week. But this is a situation where, it calls for it naturally and it just makes sense. And I'm totally on board for it. And I love it too, Trent. I just feel like when they first introduced it, they probably overdid it just a little bit. Sometimes it felt a little forced, maybe a little unnecessary. But when you do it, not every episode, but every couple episodes, I think it's really cool. And like I said, revolutionary, cutting edge. I think in the future, other wrestling promotions on television are going to look back at the way Impact Wrestling utilized their talents' independent dates and using just the independent wrestling world by itself as a tool to improve your television wrestling product. Come on, man. Give Impact their props. Smart business. I
agree. It was definitely a very smart move, man. But I want to see what I want fans to chime in on, the listeners chime in. Let us know what you think about that.
Loungers, stop calling them listeners, damn it, they're loungers.
Loungers. Let me know what you guys think about that, guys. Some of the common complaints about it, people are like, oh, the quality didn't look consistent, and that was a big thing. Perception wise, it was weird for quality keeping it consistent. So that was one complaint I heard. But tell me the rest. Tell me what you guys think. All right, we go from there. We jump over. Cha-Cha is in the ring doing an introduction of the new Desi Hit Squad. We find out the mystery man who jumped in last week is none other than Raj Singh, Gama's son. And Kyle, you brought up a good point. He's now Cha-Cha and he's Baba because he's got his nephew and his son in here now. Baba's father.
I said Papa. I didn't say Baba. I said Papa.
And I corrected you and I said it's Baba because the equivalent of Cha-Cha to father is Baba. So that's what he is. But anyway.
Every day, man. I got to tell you, Trent, I grew up in a sheltered neighborhood where there weren't too many brown people. And, every time I come on this podcast, I'm delighted. I'm just learning so much about, a culture that I know nothing about. It's great, man. I'm enjoying Trent's South Asian lessons here on the show every week.
I think you're going to be hanging out in Jackson Heights one of these days. I'm telling you, man, getting some Indian Vindaloo and maybe checking out a couple of turbans or something. Who knows? Who knows?
Man, I want to get a turban with like a Yankees logo on it.
I'm sure.
Ideal.
I'm sure in Jackson Heights you can. Right off the Jack. I guarantee you can. But yeah, man. Don Callis chimed in and said, Gama taught his son. He sent him over to India at the age of 10, and he taught him how to, trained him how to fight out there and made sure he got trained to fight. And he just returned to the U.S. But the Desi Hit Squad, Rohit Raju and Raj Singh, with Cha-Cha Gama, take on the Beach Bums, made up of T.J. Crawford and Freddie Four. Was it Freddie Four? I guess it was Freddie Four. That's the notes we got here.
That's what was listed. I looked around. I'll be honest, I never heard of the Beach Bums. I didn't know anything about them, but Freddie Four. That's his name.
Freddie Four. All right. At the end of it, it was Rohit hits a flying knee into a Samoan drop from Raj to score the victory. We didn't hear a name for that finishing combo, but it was pretty badass, And I wanna gauge the listeners on this, Kyle. If you
Loungers.
Damn it, I keep forgetting. God damn it. The Loungers. I don't know. I was pretty good about this last time. I was the one who came up with calling them Loungers. Now I'm forgetting. Loungers. Why don't you guys suggest us a couple of names for that finishing sequence? I'd like to know what you guys think. Name that for us. Name that finisher. And hell, we'll send it off to those two. I know Rohit personally. He's a buddy of mine. I can maybe even suggest it next time I see him, which I think might be Saturday. So you guys got some good names for that finishing combo. Toss it over my way, and I'll send it over to Rohit. All right. So then from there, we cut over to the OGs. They're out in the streets of New York. Hernandez is sitting there doing pull-ups on a street pole straight out of the Biggie Smalls Juicy music video. Kyle, I'm sure you know something about that, man.
I am the biggest Biggie Smalls fan ever. I'll challenge anybody in the comments. I know Biggie.
You know what? Right there. Loungers, challenge Kyle to Biggie Smalls trivia. Boom, right there.
I'm the biggest Biggie fan ever.
All right, let's see what you got. Any listeners out there who feel they can stump Kyle on Biggie Smalls, do it now. But King's out there. He's saying the bosses have nothing on him regarding the Young Boys and Conan. He brings up that other people Conan has leached over in the past, including like Juventud Guerrera, and a couple other people he's named off. But Homicide says, look, I'm confident I'm going to beat Pentagon JR tonight. He assured King that we got these cats. Bleed that, as he says. Isn't that what he says?
That's what he did. Trent is from Chicago. He can do that.
Yeah, I can. We it's a pretty violent city, guys. Yeah, a lot of guys just from their fucking car. You gotta keep your eyes open around here.
It's not funny at all.
No, it's not. Unfortunately, it's not. It's a rough town, man. I'm living in a rough town.
This is Total Nonstop Impact. Impact Talk for Impact fans, where we laugh about gang violence and drive-by murders.
Jesus, it's a tough. Any Chicagoans listening to this, you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, we see after that we go back to LAX. Now LAX is hanging out at the bar, cutting the vodka bottle of water. Kyle, I'm sure you've done that too. I'm positive you've cut the vodka of water just to get a couple more sips for yourself. But I'm not gonna go into that. I'm not gonna go into that right now.
Hey,
but
you got to do what you got to do to save money. That's what Conan said.
I hear you. And Conan Santana dismiss Sidell and Ethan Page's third eye bullshit, calling them scrubs. And they go, speaking of scrubs, Santana asks Conan what's up with the OGs going after Penta and Phoenix. And Conan says he acknowledges the OGs are going after his family, but at the same time, he's sure Penta and Phoenix can handle themselves. So, sure enough, Conan's not worried about it. He's letting it be. But, he's not happy about it either. And then Ortiz is acting silly. I think he's got a future as a bartender. Definitely having a good time over there. We cut over from that to a video package with promos from Eddie and Moose discussing and recapping their feud. Next week at Final Hour, we got Eddie and Moose again. So what do you predict for that, Kyle? Where do you think we're going with that, Eddie and Moose?
Two guys going out there and absolutely murdering each other at this point. What else is there?
You think this is it, though? I mean, you think this is that's the end of the feud?
I think this is where, Eddie drags Moose out to the parking lot and runs him over with the car. I don't know. I love the long-term storytelling. Impact has been knocking that out of the park this year, specifically the way they have written out these characters' timelines and connected the dots. It's just showing you that this new regime knows what the hell they're doing when it comes to character development and, laying out the stories. And Moose and Eddie Edwards, they've been through so much, so many ups and downs. They've both changed so much throughout the course of their friendship. It's just really compelling stuff, man. They've just done such a good job with that. This match, though, Trent, however, I don't know if it's the end of the feud, but I do know that Eddie Edwards is going to do some really violent shit to Moose and his beautiful clothes.
You cannot forget those clothes. I want to know where Moose shops. But I want to ask the listeners, too. Let us know. Loungers, damn it. What is wrong with me today? Loungers, let us know. What do you guys think about this feud? Do you think this is the end? Do you think at Final Hour, are we ending it? Should it go further? Does it have room to go further? Does it have anything to stand on to push beyond Final Hour? So I'm curious.
The name of the show is Final Hour. They've been through so much together. Maybe this is that one match where the two men, try to bring the best out of each other and fight to the bitter end. May the best man come out on top.
All right. We'll see where it goes, man. We head from there to Rockstar Pro in Dayton, and where we're going to supposedly see Brian Cage defending the X Division title against Sami. Cage's music hits. It's not Brian Cage, Kyle. It's a Brian Cage impersonator.
Are you kidding me?
It's an impersonator, man.
I thought that was him the whole time.
No. Not enough abs. Not enough abs on that guy. He had abs, but he was missing the extra 2 abs that Brian Cage has. No 6-pack. He's got an 8-pack. But no, man. He was... It wasn't him. So Callihan and OBZ make an example out of the guy, beat him down. Sami covers him with a 1 foot pin. Mini draw becomes mini ref, counts him out. But man, they kind of beat this guy down, make an example out of him. Pretty much let the people know how it's gonna go with the real thing too. So I'm looking forward to that feud, man. I think it's Sami's turn. It's Sami's time. I'm predicting it right now.
Everything.
Sami Callihan is in line to take that title. And I think he's
due for a title shot. He's done so much for the company in his short tenure so far. It's been about a year. He's left such a mark on Impact Wrestling. He's buzzing all throughout the wrestling world. He's doing so much for Impact. Sami Callihan is by far, in my opinion, one of their top 5, actually one of their top 3 talents. And it's time to start building the legacy of Sami Callihan. You can't build a legacy in wrestling without any gold. This is a good place for him to start. X Division Championship. Now, I don't want to put Sami in a box and, mark him as an X Division wrestler without any future anywhere else higher on the card. I think this is a good place to start for Sami, but let's not bullshit here, Trent. I want to see Sami Callihan as Impact World Champion next year.
100%. I think it's inevitable, and he would be a fantastic world champ, and he would represent the brand really well. I mean, the guy he's bought in. He signed a new contract. The guy's in. He's stated himself he wants to be the guy who fixes Impact Wrestling. He wants to be the name associated with that. So hey, man, I'm all for it. I love the dude. I think he's the man to go with, and the X Division title is the first step in all that. So, all right, man, we go from that. We cut right. There's a lot of promos, a ton of promos in a row. I remember thinking the same thing when I was watching this. It was like promo city, but they just packed them in, segmented it up. It was a big stretch without a match, I will say, but not bad. I mean, it was all.
Man, I know that it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm a big promo guy. I love it, man. It's good for character development. It's good for furthering your stories. I know that's not for everybody. A lot of people want to see, more wrestling and few promos. Now, I don't want big, long, dragged out in-ring segments, but if you give me a bunch of short and sweet promos, helping, invest in the characters throughout the show, makes the matches feel a little more important. You could do less matches, make them a little longer, and just fill the show with the promos, furthering people that maybe aren't even wrestling that week. It's the concept. It's the formulas of the show. Yeah, I'm on board with this one typically.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I remember it caught me, at the time when I was watching it. But all right, from there we go with Eli Drake. He's looking for Joseph Park backstage. He finds Joseph Park in a janitor's closet, which is / his office, and Joseph jumps up real quick and he wants to take a picture with Eli for Grandma Jenny, and he asks him, "Hey, is your name short for Elias?" And then we kind of know where that was what that was hinting, but then he cuts it off real quick. Eli Drake says, "Hey, I'm seeking legal advice, dummy, about his lawsuit with Impact Wrestling for their unsafe work environment," and he suggests. Joseph suggests that Drake make a class action lawsuit against Impact Wrestling. And he goes, when this is all over and done with him and Eli Drake, with this whole lawsuit, Eli Drake could end up owning the whole company. Joseph Park says this might be their ticket from the outhouse to the penthouse. And Eli Drake agrees and says, punch the ticket, dummy. This is kind of fun, right, Kyle? They're clearly taking shots at Jeff Jarrett's lawsuit. Am I wrong? It's
an uncomfortable thing because you still see like Jeff Jarrett all over social media interacting with so much of the Impact talent. And it's even funnier last week. What was the quote? The best thing about lawsuits is they're not personal. It's weird, man. It's a weird state of affairs, but it's totally not outside the norm for Impact Wrestling. When aren't we reading about a lawsuit?
No, and a lot of major companies have lawsuits, man. It's something different, but there was actually some big revelation as we record this about how Anthem has responded to the lawsuit, and they have responded strong, real strong. So if you guys haven't seen that yet, I think PW Insider has the entire response posted. Anthem brought the big guns out for this one, man. The lawyers were on it. Real good response. So I don't know how much of a chance Jarrett has anymore, but anyway, we go from that to the backstage to the Desi Hit Squad, and they're celebrating their victory, and they get interrupted by the smoke and the music. The smoke show, Scarlett Bordeaux. Cha-Cha quickly pushes his boys behind. Everybody's kind of drooling over, and he goes, back up. And then he starts looking at her. He tells the guys they can't be thinking about girls. Cha-Cha steps up to shoot a shot, grabs her hand. He starts serenading her, Kyle. He serenades her with a classic South Asian love song, which I verified by my parents telling me is a very classic song. And if you haven't heard it, you can hear it at the top of the show here. We play at the top of the show. Chacha introduced us today with that song. But he sings her a song, man, and she's all kind of fluttery, and he's got that shit-eating grin on his face, you know. And she says, "That's pretty good, right?" And she goes, "That's pretty good. You're Indian, right?" And she goes, "Isn't that where the Kama Sutra's from?" And he says, "Yeah." And he's getting all excited. And Rohit jumps in, immediately comes in off the bench and hits him with a cock block. And he informs Scarlett that he goes, "No, what this is a 65-year-old man who's been married for 45 years."
That's his son.
And that's his son. Instant cock block. And anyway, Scarlett goes off. She plugs the talent search. She tells him, "Why don't you send him the video? Scarlett at ImpactWrestling.com. Go ahead and send that in to Scarlett." And this is open to everybody, guys. If you feel like you got the grapefruits to send this to Scarlett, do it. Get on them putting guys on TV for how outlandish you can be. So
maybe Cha-Cha's the one that sent her a dick pic, you know? Maybe it was
got
like
one.
Cha-Cha.
She got one, man. She got one dick pic.
Cha-Cha with the Send Bob's DM.
Send Bob's. Send Bob. I'm new. I just learned about Send Bob's. But
I'm an equal opportunity offender, all right? I don't mean any harm by that. It's funny. It's comedy. It's funny.
As you should be, man. I'm with you.
I'm an equal opportunity offender, all right? I think stereotypes are funny that affect all sorts of nationalities and heritage. I think white people jokes are some of the funniest of all. But when I saw this storyline play out, my buddy Cody says to me, "Dude, he's pulling a Send Bob's," and like, it's wrong, it's awful, but I laughed my ass off. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I think it's funny. You showed me that Send Bob's video today. I thought it was great. All right, man. From there,
I am informing you of new racial stereotypes that affect your nationality. What a good friend.
I blame those guys for not having their shit together and being creeps. But yeah.
Do you have uncles like that, Trent? I'm just curious.
Do I have what like that?
Do you have any uncles like that?
No, not like the Send Bob's uncles. No, dude.
Yeah.
No.
Do you have any Send Bob's uncles? Do you have any Send Bob's men in your family?
No. From as far as I know, I don't think so. I doubt it. No, my family luckily is a lot more modern, man. The Pakistanis are a little different people. We don't Send Bob's. They straight up ask for the boobs. They know how to add that extra O in there. But anyway, hey, listen, it's entertaining nonetheless. But we're moving on from that, Kyle. You know, Chacha's got to work on getting that excitement down. But we go to a Bound for Glory rematch. Knockouts champion Tessa Blanchard versus Taya Valkyrie for the title. Our title's on the line. This was a badass match. A lot of back and forth. Tons of back and forth. But it ends, Kyle, with a disqualification with Tessa hitting the referee on purpose to retain that title. Again, another match where I don't know if it needed to be done. We just saw it at Bound for Glory like 2 weeks ago. I don't know how much we needed to do, but goddamn, the match was good, man. I think it was better than Bound for Glory match, minus the finish. I think it was better than Bound for Glory match. What'd you think?
Agree with you there. Probably a stronger match. It's the BFG rematch. I understand why it took place, but I just thought the ending was a little funny to me. How like Tessa gets herself intentionally disqualified so she could retain the championship, but it's just weird because how exactly did the BFG match end again?
Tessa, I believe, did a roll up holding the trunks on that.
Now,
cheat to win.
Is Taya out of the picture now? She lost the rematch. That's it, right? That's the story that was told. She's done. Or I mean, she got screwed twice, technically. Did she get to step up a third time? She never got a fair loss or win for that matter.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, how many times you got to put the same two in the ring, man? We know when nothing's happening. clearly Tessa keeps getting the best of her. I don't know. I mean, you can always go back to it. No one's going to say no, but
I think it's just another notch in Tessa's belt.
Yeah,
2 notches.
2 notches. Well, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to have her with the title, first husband and wife. I think to have titles, I guess, would be cool. But we don't know. I don't know where it's going.
Everything could be perfect.
Well,
it's the story. That's the story. That's what everybody thought was going to happen at the end of Bound for Glory, but not everything works out the way you thought.
Hey, listen, that's what keeps things exciting, man.
That's it.
We go from that to the final hour video package with Killer Kross and Johnny Impact. This was fantastic. Kyle, give me thoughts, man. I want people's thoughts on this one, too. Loungers, give me your thoughts. I thought this was a fantastic little face-off that they did here with hyping up their match. What do you think?
It didn't just hype up the match for me. I really appreciated this because the stuff that Johnny Impact was saying. Now, last week on the show, you go back and hear the podcast, I think I cracked a joke or two saying that, hey, I felt like Johnny Impact was a good champion, a good babyface, but I felt like he was just a little cheesy on the microphone sometimes. But in this little clip, I appreciated Johnny a lot because what Johnny did is he unintentionally helped explain Killer Kross to the viewer. And with television wrestling, you know, presenting your characters and translating your characters is so important. And you always need somebody to kind of, you know, pull it back and explain things to you. That's why I appreciate Don Callis so much on commentary, because he's always explaining things to the viewer. He's always, you know, digging a little, you know, history facts and stuff like that into the matches. And I really liked how the way Johnny Impact was speaking in this promo, he broke down to the viewer who Killer Kross is and why he does the things that he does. You know what I mean?
I like that Johnny also showed some vulnerability. He looked, he had a look of like he was a little scared of the guy, a little bit, you know.
I'm the champion, and the challenge is in my head. There's no denying it. Look at Killer Kross.
No question about it. I thought that was well done, but great stuff from Killer Kross on this one too. I mean, the guy's such a natural.
Killer Kross is my favorite right now, like across the board. There's nobody better than Killer Kross.
100%. And we, you know, and I also want to take a second to thank Killer Kross because he's been very generous with us, and he's been putting our show out there. He's been a big fan of what we do, and he's been retweeting that to his people and sharing our links. So we appreciate Killer Kross really taking the time out to show us a little love. You know, we hope you like what we do.
Yeah, thank you, Killer Kross. That's very humble of him to, you know, help out the fans like that. The little old retweet.
Absolutely, makes a world of difference. We go from that to a little hype of the debut of Jordynne Grace, which is next week at Final Hour. You ever see Jordynne Grace live, Kyle? Ever?
Well, Trent, I think you've asked me this like 3 times on the show already. Nope, don't know anything about her. Know nothing about her, and this is going to be my first taste of her. So first impressions are everything. I hope it's a good one.
I'm putting it out there for the people who maybe may not have heard the other couple times. I'm asking you. But
they've had it a couple times. They better be listening every week.
Hopefully. Might be some new guys, though, this week.
Hey, if this is your first time listening to us, you better come back next week.
Hopefully. But no, Jordynne Grace, I like the build. I'm not a big fan of hers. I'm not totally sold. Maybe the presentation via Impact will be better. I never have been a big fan, seeing her live a ton. But I like to hear what the listeners think. God damn it, Kyle. The Loungers.
The Loungers, Trent.
I can't get it right, man. Like, get an idea what the Loungers think of Jordynne Grace. Do you like her? I know she got a lot of buzz after All In. Did you like what she did in All In? Do you feel like that's why she was brought in here at Impact? Let us know. One thing I'm going to say about Jordynne Grace, though, she did put out a piece of merch with it, which I thought was fantastic, Kyle. She sells a little book that she put together called Messages Female Wrestlers Get or something along those lines. And it's basically all the creepy messages that girl wrestlers get in their DMs. Send Bob messages, you name it. All the
whole
wacky
book of Send Bobs, awesome.
A whole book of all the weird shit they get. She basically put it together in a book. It's fantastic. I'm gonna pick it up next time I do see her at an indie.
Like the dick pic diaries right there.
Oh my God, she's like it's just hilarious, the things people say to her. But GW and Flashback, we go to Turning Point 2013. Gail Kim taking on Candice LeRae, which I totally forgot she was in Impact. I totally forgot Candice LeRae made an appearance. But good match. Gail Kim retained, I think, in that one. But I like Kyle. I don't know about you. I like that they're not showing the whole damn match anymore.
Don't do that. Nobody needs that. Nobody needs that.
It was like a 15-minute segment showing these old matches. I'm glad that they're just keeping it to like a minute tops.
And it's funny you mentioned the Candice LeRae thing because when I first saw it, I watched the show on DVR, so I skipped through the commercials, and more times than not, I skip over the GW and Flashback. And when I was briefly skipping through this, dude, I thought it was Taryn Terrell. I thought that. I thought it was Gail Kim versus Taryn Terrell.
Yeah, same. Nope, Candice LeRae. She was famous for taking being a tag team with Joey Ryan for a bit, and she had a real brutal, bloody match against somebody. I can't remember, but I remember the pictures of her having a full crimson mask went around the media for a bit because it was nuts. Like she completely got murdered in some match. But no, she's good. She's a solid hand. Not sure why she never made it over, but I believe she's now married to what's that? Johnny Wrestling. What the hell's that guy's name? Gargano?
Yeah, Johnny Gargano.
I believe she's married to Johnny Gargano. I believe so. And which I think now she's signed over there. But anyway, we go back to the present day from there, and it's the Lucha Brothers cutting their a promo on their newest rivalry, the OGs, and Phoenix's match against Homicide. Is it Phoenix? No, it's Pentagon's match against Homicide.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? We have bad notes, Kyle. Bad notes.
Hey,
nothing. But I want quality next time. The listeners, the loungers. God damn it, the loungers demand quality. Anyway, they close it out by saying, "King, we're not your toys in your war with Conan." Pretty nicely hyped promo. Yeah, it was English on Phoenix's part, Spanish from Pentagon. We go to another promo. This is a huge stretch, man. I mean, these stretches between matches are pretty thick. But, I don't mind that format. I don't mind it at all.
As long as they are short and sweet, man.
Yeah, they are, and they're to the point, which I like.
Yeah, and I like how, wrestlers have their own style of, presentation and production for their promos. You have the OVE cam. When Pentagon and Phoenix talk, you get this, I don't know how to explain it, this cool, you know what I mean by the themed promo styles? That's really cool. It really helps get the characters out there, and I haven't seen too much of that in any other wrestling, to be honest.
I like that. It's like they pay attention to the scene,
It's way more personalized.
Big time. I like it a lot, too. Big fan of that. Brian Cage cuts a promo and he says if Sami Callihan wants a shot at him in the Exhibition Championship, then that's what he's going to get, and he's going to show up to Rockstar Pro next week, and he's going to drill claw Sami. He's going to drill claw the fans, the students, anybody in his way. He's going to drill claw him. So I kind of tend to think that he's serious. So we'll see what happens next week at Rockstar Pro's clip that they import in for us. We kick it back over to Josh and Don. And basically, Don just calls out Ohio again and say people in Ohio are dangerously like OVE. And Brian Cage is making a huge mistake going there alone. But they hype up Final Hour next week. And Cal says it could indeed be Johnny Impact's Final Hour at the hands of Killer Kross. So we'll see, man. You and I have talked about Killer Kross a lot lately. I'll see where it goes. But we got another match now coming up. Another match. We got through all those vignettes, and that brought us to LAX Santana Ortiz with Conan taking on Matt Sidell and Ethan Page non-title match. Kyle, what'd you think of this one?
Oh man, LAX versus the Third Eye crew. Third Eye Blind over there, whatever you want to call them. I don't know. It's I thought it was funny how at the beginning of the match, actually before the match started, during the entrances, there's a little joke on commentary where Josh informs Don Callis that there's a difference between hipster and hippie. And maybe they'll elaborate on more of that on Don Callis's podcast. What is the podcast called again?
Don Callis' podcast is called Killing the Town.
Killing the Town, that's it. How could I forget? Good old, used to be with Lance Storm, not anymore. Now it's Don Callis. And who's he with nowadays?
He's doing it with Paul Lazenby, who's a very famous stuntman and fighter, mixed martial arts fighter based out of Canada. And also very famous for being a bodyguard. Paul Lazenby is a tough son of a bitch. That's one tough guy. So they do it together. If Lazenby's not around, it's Don doing it solo wherever he's at. So, yeah, man, we go from there to LAX taking on Sidell and Page. I feel like these guys need a name, like the Third Eyes or something. I don't know. Third Eye Blind, something. I don't know. But a lot of back and forth. We see Santana and Ortiz connect with a double-team backbreaker on Sidell to take the win. A lot of cool back. This was a great match. LAX never has a bad match, man.
Never, ever.
Never. I don't think it's possible at this point. It's not possible. The guys are great at what they do. They get the crowd super hot. I want to put the question back out again. Who can take these belts off of LAX? They just keep racking up wins and looking strong. Who's left for them? Who else can they do? So let us know. What do you think, man? Who should dethrone them? During the match, though, something interesting, Kyle, that stirred up some rumors until the rumor got shut down quick. There was a commercial for Aero Lucha during this match.
Aero Lucha is just a little independent promotion ran by some people that used to work for Impact Wrestling before Anthem bought in. You got the Ron and Don Harris with their company, Aero Lux, and from what I understand, a lot of old backstage crew heads that just didn't, unfortunately, make the transition with the new regime. More guys are getting work. That's cool. A lot of wrestlers are getting work. A little concerned that the stuff Aero Lucha filmed is kind of old and dated by now, and I could be wrong on that. I just remember reading about them filming like a year ago, so it's kind of like we might have another GFW situation where by the time it does land on television somewhere or a streaming platform, a lot of the rosters kind of moved on already and in different places in the wrestling world. But regardless, I'm sure there'll be some good content, and I'll give it a try. I'll watch Aero Lucha. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, why
it's
not?
more wrestling.
The interesting thing what happened was, though, that commercial aired during Impact, and immediately people drifted into how Aero Lucha is replacing Impact on Pop. And everybody lost their shit, and they went nuts, and they just came out a couple days ago or this week about how that was never said. No, none of that's confirmed. I don't know what that people just ran with that story, but
I caught that. Actually, in this a Facebook group, Impact Fan Nation. I'm hooked up to as many Impact fan groups as possible.
Yeah, same here.
It's just good to be connected to everything, as we run this podcast. I feel like we got to have our finger on the pulse of everything. And I saw it popped up. Somebody reported, oh man, they're replacing Impact on Pop TV. It was really just a speculation. It was an assumption. And for some reason, a bunch of people read it and just ran with it. So it's like, hey man, stop spreading rumors.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it's such an unfounded rumor, but it proves to you where wrestling rumors start, man. They just start over bullshit. Yeah, but
at the end of this match, though, man, I gotta mention this. At the end of the match, it was a hell of a match. But at the end of the match, Santana and Ortiz, they connect with this double team backbreaker move on Matt Sidell. I thought it was really cool, but Ortiz on Twitter was asking the fans an idea for a name for that finishing move. I guess it's an alternate finisher, something different from the street sweeper. And it's funny, it's like a theme in this show because earlier we asked, hey guys, what do you think the Desi Hit Squad's finishing move should be called? we're asking that question again. Ortiz is asking it. So don't just respond to us. Go on to Ortiz's Twitter and answer him yourself. He wants to know, what would you call this double team finishing move? Personally, Trent, I posted on our page. I came up with the name, the Chopped Cheese.
The Chopped Cheese?
The Chopped Cheese. Okay, you're wondering, what the hell is a Chopped Cheese? My New Yorkers, they know what a Chopped Cheese is. You're wondering, what the hell is a Chopped Cheese? A Chopped Cheese is apparently Santana and maybe Ortiz, but I know Santana because he's always posting about them on Instagram. That's his favorite bodega sandwich. You get a chopped cheese in the hood. A chopped cheese, Santana, he's from the Bronx. He frequents the bodegas at lunchtime. And a chopped cheese, you can only get it from a bodega. You can't get it from a regular deli or anything like that. Only in the corner store bodega where you get your Dutch Masters, your blunts, get your Lucy cigarette, your pineapple soda, whatever it is. But in there, you get the chopped cheese. The chopped cheese, it's a chopped up burger mixed in with some onions, and the seasoning is special. You can only get it in New York, specifically in the ghettos in the city, the hoods. But the chopped cheese, that's the name I came up with. I just thought it was funny. It fits LAX. So let's hear your name, Trent. What do you got? What would you call that move?
Man, I don't know. I mean, you got me leaning towards chopped cheese now.
Chopped cheese is funny. It's like a chop, the knee to the head. I don't know. It worked for me.
I'll go with it. I'll roll with it. I'll back my podcast tag team partner here. I like it. But yeah, man, it was cool. We go backstage though after that match. I forgot to mention Santana and Ortiz connect with that double team backbreaker. They take the win on side. They pin Sidell. I don't know if I mentioned who they pinned, but that's who they took out on that one. But anyway, we go to Allie backstage. She's looking into her reflection in the mirror. All sorts of colors.
Looks like she's tripping, man. She's on some hallucinogens, man.
Yeah.
Allie's got to hook me up with her plug. I want some of that stuff.
We're gonna forget you said that, Kyle. This is a family show here, but
I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
Listen, we're talking Impact Wrestling. I'm not talking about your goddamn lack of self-control. All right, but it was kind of like a hologram or something. It was like Obi-Wan Kenobi, man, or whatever from Star Wars, and how he was on that hologram. They're sending messages. I don't know if anybody's a Star Wars guy. They'll know what I'm talking about. But anyway, Kira approaches Allie from behind. Kira insists that something's wrong with Allie. Don't deny it. I know something's wrong with you. And Allie's denying it. She's denying it. And then she finally admits, fine, something's wrong. It's been different ever since they went into the Undead Realm. Kira promises Allie, I'll help you take out Su Yung and put an end to all this once and for all. This could be good. This could be real interesting. I like I like the mini movies with these two. I like them. I think they're done well. Keep doing them. The one at Bound for Glory was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. So Allie left her soul in the Undead Realm. How does she get her soul back? Does she have to defeat Su Yung? Does she have to go back to the Undead Realm to get it? I don't know. I'm interested, but I don't know what the hell they're doing. In a good way.
Yeah, man. I mean, we'll see. I don't know what they're doing either. I think it's going to be interesting to see which direction they kind of pull this all out in. Loungers, let us know what you think. Where do you think they're going with this? I mean, they've been teasing it enough. Where do you go? Is it immediately Rosemary? Is it immediately, they get rid of Sue? I mean, what happens? What do you guys think? What would you like to have happen? All right, man, from there we go. It's main event time. Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix taking on Homicide with King and Hernandez.
Yes. Pentagon Jr. with Phoenix, not Phoenix like I wrote earlier in the lineup sheet that I sent you for the card. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's Pentagon. Cero Miedo is taking on Homicide. This was a great match, man. This was a fantastic match. They beat the piss out of each other. How about those chops, man? Do you hear those chops? Those were on, man. Those were on fire. A little of
that Japanese flavor in there, man. There was a lot of hard striking in this match. A lot of hard hits.
A lot of hard hits.
Duking each other.
Big time. And it was good. A lot of back and forth, man. A lot of back and forth. Homicide eventually goes for the Gringo Killer, but Pentagon slides down, rolls him up, takes the victory. Easy manipulation of of Homicide. You know, it was perfect. Pentagon had him. It was a perfect decoy. You know, kind of went up for that Gringo Killer. Everybody, I thought he was going to hit him with it. I thought that was it. He's going to hit him with this. OGs need a win, man. I think the OGs needed a win.
They do. They definitely do.
But I think it would have been okay if they took the win on this one. It would have been them striking first kind of thing. But no dice. Homicide takes them out, man.
I got a question for you, Trent. Dial it back a little bit here. In that match, did you notice when Homicide is biting Pentagon's fingers, Pentagon starts tapping out? Now, go back and watch the footage, people. Pentagon's hands definitely hit the ring. He's definitely tapping, but the ref doesn't ring the bell. Is that because biting of the fingers is illegal, or was it just a missed? I'm confused.
No, biting the fingers is illegal, and if an illegal move is being performed, a tap out or even a call for submission is invalid. That's rules.
There you go.
Rules is rules, guys. Rules is rules, and it's not going to work. So. Yeah, man. So after that, so Penta is successful, defeats Homicide. But after the match, Hernandez picks up Pentagon, but Phoenix makes a save. King jumps in and tips the scale, and he hits the Lucha Brothers with a slapjack, allowing Homicide to hit a beautifully executed cutter and to leave the Lucha Brothers laying. Man, that was your main event. They look strong going out. The OGs still look strong, which I think was very important. We cannot afford for the OGs to look weak again, man. Even in loss this time, they look strong, and I'm not going to argue that, man. So we'll see where it goes with this feud here. It's obviously picking up steam. We'll see what happens. You know, one side note. I don't remember if you remember when Pope D'Angelo De Niro was on commentary back in the day. You remember that?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Way back in the day.
Way back. I used to love how he'd call Hernandez Hernandi. You remember that? He'd be like, oh, here, Daddy, Hernandi, coming down the audience. Hernandi. I don't know. Then he did it on purpose, but it was just hilarious. But
shot of caffeine, Daddy.
Shot of caffeine. Shot of caffeine. We end the show with the Killer Kross Doomsday Clock promo. Kyle, I'm not gonna give it words, man. I want everybody to go watch this immediately. Just shut this video, pause this video, and open another tab and watch the Doomsday Clock promo by Killer Kross. This is up there with, this is up there in the top listing promos of the year, man. No question about it. Check it out. Killer Kross is next level. This guy is on another level. Kyle, what do you think about him?
Killer Kross is the best professional wrestler on the scene right now. Nobody's touching the guy. His promos, his character, he can back it up in the ring. He's a very, very good wrestler. I love that beautiful Doomsday Saito suplex. The guy can go. He's got everything going for him. Impact Wrestling, get this guy locked into a contract right now. Like right now. Like I'm not talking about, go to your investors and your legal partners and discuss this type of a contract a couple days from now, a couple weeks from now. No. You need to do it right now. You need to throw the bag of money at Killer Kross because, Trent, this guy is oozing with star power, star charisma. And WWE, all the other promotions are going to come like vultures coming for this guy. There's no denying it. So Impact, lock Killer Kross into a deal and invest in this man because you're not going to find any better than Killer Kross.
No, you're not. And he's fantastic. I am more than happy to have him lead the charge, man. Killer Kross is great. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where that match goes. But that was the end of the episode, guys. And so next week, it's Final Hour. Don't forget, Johnny Impact defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Killer Kross. Eddie Edwards taking on Moose. Jordan Grace's debut. Brian Cage defending the X Division title against Sami Callihan live from Ohio. And the Lucha Brothers taking on the OGs. And if you haven't seen any of the build for any of these, watch it immediately on Impact Wrestling's channel. Get in the zone. get hyped up because it's just mere days away. But Kyle, any final thoughts to close out this episode?
Well, Trent, actually, I don't have a final thought. I need to throw it to our good friend Teresa to read the birthdays. She didn't stop by for the Knockouts report because she's got a bit of a cold. But I don't know. I got an email that we're still doing the birthday thing. A little confused. She couldn't make it. Apparently, I got a birthday file to play right here. So let's get to the Impact birthdays real quick, Trent.
All right, go for it. Let's kick it off. We got a special guest who's gonna list off the birthdays this week. So let's send over to our special birthday list reader right now. Take it away.
OVE, Ohio versus everything.
What's going on, everybody? Coming at you live from Ohio. I am here to read you the Impact Wrestling birthday list. And for now, I want to wish them a happy birthday, and I hope they get everything they want. First off, we're going to go ahead and wish a happy birthday to two-time Knockouts champion, Sienna. It's a title I haven't held, but I don't want to hold it because I don't want to fight Sienna. That is one tough chick. So happy birthday, Sienna, on November 5th. Another one, November 8th, coming up. Okada. You might not remember him in TNA and Impact, but he was here, and he did a little bit of everything while he was here. On November 9th, it's the one and only. The guy fronting Fozzy. The guy whose cruise ship I was just on. And whose cruise ship I showed everybody why I am the draw. And that's Chris Jericho on November 9th. So happy birthday, Chris Jericho. Yeah, I know he's never actually been in TNA or in Impact. But you know what? He actually submitted a song to be used. Fozzy had a song at Bound for Glory 2006 called Enemy. And if that's not worth something, that's worth everything. So Chris Jericho, happy birthday to you on November 9th. November 12th, last but not least, Glenn Gilbernetti. Yeah, I know it's Gilberti, but I'm going to call him Gilbernetti because, bro, Vince Russo calls him bro. Yeah, so I'm doing it like Vince Russo does it. I'm going to call him bro. He's not from Ohio. He's actually from Atlanta. I don't like Atlanta. I only like Ohio. It's Ohio versus everything. Back to you, Kyle and Trent.
And, whoa. Holy shit. Is that who I thought it was, Kyle?
How did you pull that off?
Don't look at me, man. I thought you pulled that off.
I thought you pulled it off.
Did Teresa do that? Yeah, big thanks for the birthday shouts there, Draw. Appreciate that. So, but anyway, you can find this podcast at We Talk Impact on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Connect with us there. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. Give us live feedback on our social media pages. The feed of this show, you can listen to it on Apple iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and now, Kyle, we are now on Spotify as of this week. Welcome to Spotify. So thank you, Spotify, for putting us along with your podcast family. So, guys, we are in every major podcast outlet you can find us on. Check us out there. You can also find us on YouTube at Total Nonstop Impact, but also featured predominantly where you're listening to this right now on the Impact Lounge. We are the weekly source of Impact Wrestling review via the Impact Lounge. So big thanks to our team over there for constantly keeping us at the top of the list, making sure we are getting to you guys in time. So check us out there, guys. Connect with us. Let us know what you think about everything. Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend. We definitely need your ratings on some of these iTunes and Stitcher and stuff. If you use those, give us a 5, whatever you want to give us. Tell us what you like about it. Write some comments. All feedback is good and very welcome. Kyle, any closing thoughts from you?
Yes, Trent. And don't even respond, Trent. Don't even talk after me. We'll just close the podcast from here. I warned you before we recorded that I was going to beg the listeners desperately for some information. So can I have the floor right now, Trent?
I reluctantly give you the floor.
Okay, loungers, Kyle needs to know. Where the hell can I find this Jericho Cruise footage from? I want to see the matches from the Jericho Cruise. I can't find them anywhere online. I'm hearing these rumors that Johnny Impact and Jay Lethal agreed to do a title versus title match. And these are all rumors and speculation. Nothing has been officially announced. That's why we didn't even really talk about any of that on the show specifically. I want to know, where can I find this goddamn Jericho Cruise video? I'll pay you. I'll pay for it. Whatever I have to do, Trent will pay for it. You know, when I say I'll pay for it, I mean I'll use Trent's PayPal account to pay you. Whatever it's got to be.
Hey.
I need to see it. I want to see the Young Bucks versus LAX. I want to see all of it. Where can I find the Jericho Cruise? So please, if you leave it in the comments, let me know where I can find this video. I will pay you off of Trent's PayPal account.
Hey, wait a minute. You know, I knew I was making a mistake by
we're done recording, Trent. Show's over. Bye-bye.
Okay, all right. See you guys next week.